April 11th. Iowa turkey season opens tomorrow, the first season. Mike and I both got tags. I'm heading out this morning to listen and do a little scouting. Heading to a spot I've never turkey hunted before, just got permission on it. Landowner says that he sees and hears turkeys all the time, so it's supposed to be windy today and tomorrow, so I'm trying to find some spots where we can get low and kind of stay out of that wind, and this spot's one of those that'll be good if the birds are there. So I want to go in there this morning, give it a listen. If there's birds gobbling, I'll probably hang around and see what they do after fly down, kind of figure out what they're wanting to do. That way we can get in the middle of them tomorrow. But should be getting there right about prime time. They should be gobbling, so we'll see what happens this morning. Pulled into this first spot. I'm literally standing by the guy's house listening. Just hoping the birds are down across this bottom. There's a creek down here. Not hearing any down here, but there's a bunch of birds on the other side of this road on the neighboring properties. There's a cut cornfield right down here that I can hunt. I'm gonna slip down the road and see how close those birds are to that. So there's gotta be, I don't know, 8 to 10 birds on the other side of the road gobbling. I just pulled down the road about a half a mile. I thought these birds were closer to this road, but they're up in there 400 or 500 yards on the neighbors. So I'm gonna roll on, go check some other spots out. Walking back in to check another spot. I was shut out and down here this spring. Seen a big flock of toms in here. There's a big green field kind of secluded back in here. Just kind of curious. Some of these birds might not be roosted around it. It's getting pretty late already. They're probably starting to fly down, but hopefully they'll gobble a little bit.
Just met up with Brennan here this afternoon. He was out here on this public this morning. He had some birds hammering, so we're gonna slip in here. We already got kind of an idea where we want to set up, but we just wanted to pick out a couple trees for the morning because we think these birds are going to be kind of close to the vehicle, so we want to be able to slip in, not make too much noise. So we're just going to pop over this hill, walk a little ways off this ridge, and see if we can find a couple spots here to set up. I think this is the spot. We got kind of a ridge point that comes out here. It opens up. There's some bigger timber here at about 75-80 yards up, and our guess is that's where the birds were roosting this morning. We got a little bit of a trail right here we can slip in pretty quiet, get set up, I think. So we're hoping we can just suck them right up this road in the morning. Brendan and Dylan had some luck here last year. Didn't seal the deal on birds, but they had a couple close calls, so we know we're in a good spot. Just need to beat the opening day traffic here. April 12th, I believe. It's the first day of Iowa season here. My first time hunting Iowa ever. Heading out this morning. We cleared out a spot last night for some birds where Brennan was hearing them previous morning. It's windy out this morning now, about low 40s for temps, but we got a pretty good gust of wind for the morning hunt. So not sure how the birds are going to react to that, but we're going to be on a ridge. Hopefully it won't affect them, but we're going to be definitely a little bit chilly this morning, so we're layering up, getting a little bit of food and coffee in us, and we're going to head out. Covered up in birds this morning. We slept in here where we cleared out this spot last night. We got like 2 birds, maybe 3, roosted off the side of this hill. We're sitting up on this ridge top here. Wind's not as bad as what we thought it was going to be up here. We got some birds to the north, gobbling down on the bottom a few hundred yards too. We should be sitting pretty good this morning though. We got end-up birds. These birds just hammering at everything we put at them, but there's some hens down on the bottom. They started up here for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and they went down off the edge. They've been down there since, probably 100, 125 yards. I mean, we could sit here and keep working them, but I think we might be doing more harm than good if we're going to sit here and keep calling at them. So we might pick it up and try and find some birds somewhere else. We don't want to pressure these ones too much because we know they're going to be here tomorrow morning too. See you later. Spot number 2. We only drove down the road about a mile. Seen some birds out in this public on this field over here. Unfortunately, there's a guy hunting over that side, so we decided to let him be. But we think one of the birds that we heard this morning was off this field edge somewhere, so we're going to kind of slip down this edge and call a little bit and see if we can get him struck up. Setup number 3. I guess not 3, 2. Hopefully. We just slipped up on the top of this ridge. We got birds gobbling a few hundred yards down here in the bottom. Not really a great spot for setting up decoys, so we decided to just sit here and see if we can call them up on this narrow ridge top into range. We're a little bit lower, so we're kind of out of the wind more, but we're just gonna throw some calls out here and see if we can suck them up here. They're like right in that bottom, aren't they? was close. That one was close. Yeah. We had a hen yelping up the ridge here. She came in about 30 yards. She got up on this top, and I don't know if she kind of picked us out or seen something she didn't like, and she kind of scooted the side of it. Well, right behind her was a tom. He strutted this whole side of this ridge and came to 15 yards or less to the right of us. It was just how this hill's set up. I couldn't even hardly see him. Couldn't even get a shot. Needed him to come up on top a little bit more and it would have been game over, but that was a close call. That wasn't even the birds we were working. He came in completely silent. And other birds are still gobbling down the bottom here, but he's booking. He's in the ditch right now. He's coming. Can't really hear much down in here. First thought I was hearing stuff, and all of a sudden bird hammered right on the top of the hill here. And he looked like he was coming right in. He came right off that hill. I came right down to the bottom. For some reason, there's a ditch here, and for some reason he didn't want to cross. I mean, he came all the way off the hill like he was committed. Got to the bottom by the ditch and turned around and went back. But I thought we heard another bird gobble back this way and maybe another one off to the left, so we're gonna move further in this property here. Maybe just do a different kind of setup and see if it's something they like better. But there's definitely birds here. We just gotta get in a spot they wanna cooperate. There we go. First bird on the year.
What time is it?
It's gotta be close to noon. 11:55. I can't believe that. Just come in silent like that.
Had to be the same bird.
It was definitely, I would say definitely the bird that we had going over here. Just we got on this side of the ditch and we got into a spot he wanted to cooperate finally. But we only threw out maybe 2 or 3 calls here. We were actually kind of moved over here because we had a bird gobbling to the east a couple times. And right when we set up here, Brennan goes, this is the landowner that owns this property. He said, this is where he says he always kills them. Well, worked out perfect. Well, today was a pretty special day. First hunt ever for Iowa longbeard. First time ever hunting turkeys at all in Iowa, either with a gun or behind a camera. Started off this morning on some public. We were in the birds right away this morning. We had 3 toms come in off the roost. Just didn't want to commit to the decoys right away. We did a couple other setups on public this morning, and just about every time we were on birds, had another close call with a tom, got to about 15 yards. But he was just off the side of the hill, wasn't able to turn to shoot or nothing. And I don't think Brennan got a lot of video of him in the first place, but pretty much everywhere we went, we were on birds, and it was somewhat marginal weather. I mean, it's beautiful out today though, but it's been really windy. But the birds have been pretty talkative, to be honest. We decided to take a little bit of a break right around 9:30, 10 o'clock. Went back to the shack, got a little bit of a snack, headed out here, and this is a piece of private that Brennan got permission on. And he scouted this actually yesterday morning and heard birds on the neighboring properties. But he kind of figured there's some open area down in these bottoms here where all these creeks and ditches come through, and kind of figured it'd be just a matter of time, midday, to come in here and try it. And I figured once these birds broke off from the hens, they'd come in these spots and strut. And sure enough, we got down in here and it worked out pretty well. We're a little bit lower, so I mean, it's still windy down in here, but we're out of the wind somewhat. And I think this is the bird that we actually had going on our first setup. He started hammering up on the ridge top, and he came down the hill like he was going to come into the set. And he got to a point where there was a ditch, and for some reason he didn't want to cross it. He just came to the bottom, did a 180, and went right back where he came from, never gobbled. Shortly after that, we heard a bird over here to the east gobble, so we decided, let's get on this side of the ditch, maybe give these birds a different look. And sure enough, that's what all it took. You know, we got set up here. We were only here for probably 15-20 minutes. Threw out a couple calls, didn't have any gobbles, and just out of the blue, this bird poked his head out in this opening and seen the avian decoy and had to come check it out. But pretty awesome hunt. Can't thank Brennan enough. We got 1 bird down. Brennan has a tag too, so we're gonna try and punch his tag the next few days. Season goes till I think Thursday. It's a 4-day season here, first season in Iowa. So we're gonna try and knock down 1 more bird, but great start to the year. First hunt of the year for me, and can't complain. We're gonna get this bird out of here and go see if we can find another one.